Good morning. My name is Azza Aiman and today I'm gonna present about lathe machine. Definition of lathe machine. Lathe machine is a machine tool that uses a cutting tool for removing the material from the surface of the workpiece, which is held in the chunk for holding the workpiece, and fit was provided by the tool to the workpiece for the removal of the material. It is the most versatile and widely used machine in the industry and institution. Basic of grinding high-speed steel. Turn on the machine. Use eye protection. Take the high-speed steel and put it towards the machine. Put the first surface of high-speed steel towards the machine in a 3 or 6 degree to the right. The high-speed steel is moved from the left to the right for a flat surface. Turn the high-speed steel to the left in a 3 or 6 degree to grind the top surface. The high-speed steel is moved from the left to the right for a flat surface. Turn the high-speed steel to the right in a 3 or 6 degree to grind the side surface, and the last step is the high-speed steel is moved from the left to the right for a flat surface. Facing definition. Facing is the process of removing metal from the end of a workpiece to produce a flat surface. Most often, the workpiece is cylinder, but using 4-jaw chunk, you can face rectangular or odd-shaped work to form cubes and other non-cylindrical shapes. Facing operation. Preparing for the facing cut. First, make sure the tumbler gear lever on the back of the headstock is in the neutral position, which is in the middle, so that the screw does not rotate. This is very important since you will clamp the half nut on the head screw during the facing operation to keep the saddle from being forced back away from the end of the workpiece by the force of the cutting operation. Clamp the workpiece tightly in the 3-jaw chunk. To get the work properly centered, close the jaw until they touch the surface of the workpiece. Then rotate the workpiece by hand in the jaw to set it. Then tighten the jaw. Clamp the cutting tool in the tool post and turn the tool post so that the tip of the cutting tool will meet the center line of the workpiece at the middle angle. Clamp the tool post in place and the carriage until the tool is about even with the end of the workpiece. Set the lathe to its lowest speed and turn it on. Make sure the lead screw is not turning. Turn the lathe off and press the half nut lever down to engage the half nut with the lead screw. When properly engaged, you should feel the lever click into place in a nearby horizontal position. You may have to work the carriage handwheel back and forth a little to get good engagement. Lock the half nut to the lead screw will prevent the carriage from moving back away from the workpiece during the facing operation. Beginning. Use the compound handwheel to advance the tip of the tool until it touches the end of the workpiece. Use the crossfit crank to back off the tool until it's beyond the diameter of workpiece. Turn the lathe on the adjust and the speed to a few hundred RPM. Slowly advance the crossfit handwheel to move the tool towards the workpiece. Continue the advancing the tool until it reaches the center of the workpiece and then crank the tool back in the opposite direction, which is towards you, until it is back past the edge of the workpiece. Roughing. Use the compound crank to advance the tool towards the chunk. If the compound is set to 90 degrees to the cross side, then each division you turn the crank will advance the tool towards the chunk. Cutting on the return pass. If you crank the tool back towards you, after it reaches the center of the workpiece, you will notice that it removes a small amount of metal on the return pass. This is because the surface is not perfectly smooth and it removing metal from the high spots. If you need to remove a lot of metal to reduce the workpiece to a specific length, for example, you can take advantage of this return to remove more metal on each pass by advancing the tool a small way into the workpiece on the return pass. Since the tool must plunge into the surface of the workpiece, this works best for the fairly sharp-pointed tool. Finishing cut. Depending on how rough the end of the workpiece was to begin with, and how large the diameter, you may need to make 3 or more passes to get a nice smooth and finish across the face. These initial passes are called roughing passes and remove a relatively large amount of metal. When you get the face pretty smooth, you can make a final finishing cut to remove just tiny bits of metal and to get a nice smooth surface. The finishing cut can also be made at the higher RPM to get a smoother finish. Facing operation, leave a rather sharp edge on the end of the workpiece. It is a good idea to smooth the edge of the workpiece down with a file to give it a chamfer and to avoid cutting yourself on it. With the lathe running at fairly low speed, bring a smooth cut file up to the end of the workpiece at a 45-degree angle and apply a little pressure to the file. Turning definition. Turning is the removal of metal from the outer diameter of rotating cylinder workpiece. Turning is used to reduce the diameter of the workpiece, usually to a specific dimension, and to produce a smooth finish on the metal. Often, the workpiece will be turned so that the adjacent sections have different diameters. Turning operation. Chucking the workpiece. Insert the workpiece in the 3-jaw chunk and tighten down the jaw until they start to grip the workpiece. Rotate the workpiece to ensure that it is seated evenly and to dislodge any chips or grit on the surface that might keep the workpiece from sitting evenly. You want the workpiece to be as parallel as possible with the center line of the lathe. Tighten the chuck using each of the 3 chuck key positions to ensure a tight and evenly grip. Adjusting the tool bit. Make sure the tool is tightly clamped in the tool holder. Adjust the angle of the tool holder so that the tool is approximately perpendicular to the side of the workpiece. The left side of the tip should engage the work, but not the entire front edge of the tool. The angle of the component does not matter. Make sure the half nut is disengaged, and if you have one, that the carriage lug is not tightened down. If necessary, back off the cross slide until the tip of the tool is beyond the diameter of the work. Move the carriage until the tip of the tool is near the free end of the workpiece. Then advance the cross slide until the tip of the tool just touches the side of the work. Move the carriage to the right until the tip of the tool is just beyond the free end of the workpiece. Setting speed and feed. The wrench lever on the back of the headstock should be in the lower range for just about all machining operations other than polishing. Set the lead screw direction on the back of the headstock in the neutral position for now, which is in the center. If it's not already on, turn on the power to the left using the red rocket switch. Set the speed control to minimum speed and turn the lathe motor by moving the silver toggle switch to the forward position. Advance the speed control knob. Turning with hand feet. Wear safety glasses and keep your face well away from the work. Advance the cross slide crank about 10 divisions. Turn the carriage hand wheel counterclockwise to slowly move the carriage toward the headstock. As the tool starts to cut into the metal, advance the tool toward the headstock until it's about 1/4 away from the chuck jaw. Be careful to not let the tool touch the junk jaw, and without moving the cross slide or compound, rotate the carriage hand wheel clockwise to move the tool back towards the free end of the work. Advance the cross slide another 0.010 and repeat this procedure. Knurling definition. Knurling is a process of impressing a diamond shape or straight line pattern into the surface of a workpiece by using a specially shaped hardened metal wheel to improve its appearance and to provide a better gripping surface. Straight knurling is often used to increase the workpiece diameter when pressing fit is required between the two parts. Knurling operation. Forcing a knurling tool against the workpiece while it's rotated in the lathe is the commonest way of knurling. The knurling is actually done by a small wheel that has the necessary pattern cut into it. The tool is really just a holder for the knurling wheel. The metal is not cut but is squashed into shape. This will not give clean knurls into most plastic. It will often not work with brass. However, both of these can be knurled using tool where the material is cut rather than squashed. For diamond pattern, two wheels are needed, one doing the lines one way and the other doing the lines the other way. A simple tool for doing this holds the two wheels and is held in a tool holder across the crossslide. However, the force required to get a really good knurl into the far higher than the crossslide is designed to provide all the head bearing to stand. The only satisfactory sort of tool is one in which the cutters are forced against each other by using the opposite side of the workpiece. The force needed means that quite a lot of average is needed on the screw that force the cutter together. Since the force is very high, it is important that the moving part of the tool is well lubricated during the knurling process. This also helps to wash away the debris and helps to get what looks like a cut knurls finish. Because of the high pressure, the knurls will often try to move back before the workpiece or move past it. In either case, knurls must be moved so they are at the widest part of the workpiece. It can be useful to lock the crosslight whilst doing it. It might appear that for a given pair of knurling wheels, the spacing of the rigid is fixed. Consequently, since we need a whole number of the ridges around the workpiece, the diameter of the workpiece has to be a certain value. A supply of coolant or oil is needed to remove this dust. A diamond knurl is finished when each diamond has a point on top of it. When a satisfactory knurl has been formed, it ends with a rag. All knurls need to be finished at the both ends. That's all that I have to present, and thank you for all your attention.